Hey guys, it's Motto, and this is going to be my Agent Chaos deck list. Now, I'm doing this on Dueling Network because this is the deck that I have been thinking of making. But as I've said before, my friend's deck got stolen, so I had to stop on this project and actually continue helping him make his deck and all that. Blah blah blah. So I had to scrap whatever it is that I had currently of this deck. But when the tour guides came out or when they got reprinted, I was thinking, hey, you know what? Tour guides are easy enough to grab, so I might as well try to make a deck that can make great use of them, like so. So, without further ado, let's get started. I have double Master Hyperion. I'm only running two because if you run more than two, I feel like it's a dead draw because you have to have an agent. And since our Earth got limited, it kind of hurt the deck a little bit. Not as much as I thought it would, but it still hurt because now you can't search as much for Venus. But that's, another point. You got one honest because the entire deck is light, essentially. You want to try to keep your Earth for some combos. You want to try to keep your Venus for some combos. And Jupiter, you kind of just want to stay, just to be a big beat stick. But yeah, one honest. You got one Earth, it's Stratos, you just search. You got one Jupiter. He goes up to a 2600 attack. But he's good with Gachi because then if he uses this effect on himself and then you have a Gachi on the field, then he's a 3k beater. So you can clash him into like BLS or any other big boss monster that they might currently have up on the field. And without no real like issue to you, because then that just means you have another agent in the graveyard. And you have another light fairy target for Hyperion's effect. Triple Venus, because you want to get Venus in your first hand, like no matter what. And if you don't, then you want at least a Earth to grab it to your hand, because this is one of the biggest plays that this deck has. I'll explain the deck afterwards, try to see if I can get a clip or something like that. But 3 Venuses is for sure, for sure. 2 Christia. Again, it goes along with the Venus play, because with Venus you get 4 fairies into the graveyard really quick, and Arc Lord Christia is just there to bring an anti-meta aspect to the deck. It's another 2800 attack monster, so that never hurts, but the fact that neither player can special summon is where it really comes into play. You just have to special everything before you actually come out with this guy, and then, you're set for the rest of the duel. Triple Shine Ball for Venus's effect. I am running 3, not 2. People say that it's dead, but I'm also running triple Herald of Orange Light. So even if a Shine Ball is dead, and this is in my hand, it makes this live. Herald of Orange Light is like the effect veiler over this deck. You ditch it whenever you with another fairy type monster like Shine Ball or maybe like a dead Venus in your hand if you've used this effect already to negate and destroy one of your opponent's monster's effect. So I figure, if I'm gonna run effect veilers, I might as well run the better fairy version of them if I can. I'm running one Light Ray Sorcerer. I figure Light Ray Sorcerer is better in this deck than just a normal Chaos Sorcerer because you're always removing monsters from play with Master Hyperion's effect. And, Jupiter's effect is still there. I was actually considering running cards from the skies in here just to make them a lot more alive. But, that's more into later detail. 1 BLS for the obvious reasons. 2 Birdman, because he combos great with Venus. Like I said, I might try to get another clip up later in one of my strategy videos. But, that's that. You got 2 Birdman. Triple Tour Guide. It gets you your Lever. And it's also a 3-star Dark that you have targets for. Like, say if you remove something for Hyperion's effect, and then you summon Tour Guide, and then Tour Guide you go Lever, you get back whatever you just removed. So I figure it's always a plus, and not to mention it's constantly a +1. If they have a big monster, you just go Acid Golem, and then you clash. Or if they don't, then you can just go into Leviathan, get a Dark in the graveyard. It's a good card. Or if you're going for a turn, you can search out for Sangan, which I'm only running one of because in this deck you really need to search a lot for your searcher to get the card that you need. Or if you really need to, a Herald of Orange Light. But that's what Sangan is there for. One Gorz because Gorz is awesome. A Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Mind Control, Monster Reborn, and double MST. Those are all staples. I'm running a Mind Control in this deck because, let's say I have an Earth or something, but I don't have any other really big plays, so I just summon Earth in order to get my search. Then usually I'll Mind Control beforehand, and then I'll summon, so that way I have a Synchro play, and I do have a search play, so that way I can set up for next turn without any real minus to me. And if I really have to, I can Mind Control one of their monsters, or I can Mind Control their Utopia, go Utopia Ray, which I'll explain in a little bit, or just do any other stuff. Double Duality. and a Gold Sark. Once again, more searching. In this deck, you really want to get that Venus and Birdmet to your hand for your big play. If you can't, then you need to get your combo pieces together. Pot of Duality, I was considering running cards from the sky, like I said, to make Light Ray Sorcerer rely over these two, but that's, what you guys are here for. Should I run dualities or should I run cards from the sky? Because honestly, I haven't tested it out with cards from the sky yet, but duality hasn't really been hurting me much in the special summoning wise, so we'll see. A Gold Sark, just it's good. Search out a Hyperion, an Honest, a BLS, a Dark Hole, a Heavy, or a Venus or a Birdman, maybe a Christia, whatever. And then Double Dimensional Prison, Double Solemn Warning, and a Starlight Road, which is gonna be like my 5 just staple trap cards for this format. Starlight Road, I need mained. Double Warning, obviously. And the two-dimensional prisons, because everybody expects Double Torrential or Mirror Force is some big, giant, mass removal trap card. Whereas I'd rather have a simple 1-for-1 card that can really fuck them up if you play it in the right place. Extra deck, you have Double Gachi Gachi, because that's one of the big plays in here also with Venus and Shine Balls. A Dark Mist, only if you're ever in that position where you need a Dark Mist. Leviathan, Levier, and then Golem of Destruction for Tour Guide. And then I have one Utopia Ray without the Utopia, because in this deck the only real way you can go Utopia is with an Honest and a Jupiter, so that's kind of redundant. I'd rather have Utopia Ray for a target of mind control, and because it really fucks your opponent up if you can take their Utopia when they were thinking about using it as defense, and you just succeed into Utopia Ray with their Utopia, and it's just hilarious. You have Catastor for 5-star plays, because you can do 5 a lot also in this deck. You go Venus, and then you pull out a bunch of Shine Balls, and then you summon Birdman, then Birdman is 3 stars, one of the other guys is 2 stars, and you have 5 there. Or just say if you have a Earth on the field still, and you just happen to summon a Venus, then you can use Venus and Earth to sync your 1-5, so it's just nice to have the 5-star targets. So Catastor and Android are my 5 stars, Bryonic and Gaia, which are my staple 2 6 stars. Wyvern and Black Rose. Black Rose for the obvious reason. Wyvern because Earth in here is a light tuner. So I'm only running, and so are all these guys Herald of Orange Lights. I tend to forget that they're tuners sometimes, so I forget that I can use them for that too. But it's a really good card. If you're winning, you'll stay winning, and it just screams win condition. Black Rose, and then double Stardust, 1 for Starlight, and 1 for the play that I will be talking about later. But yeah, tell me what you guys think, guys. Is this a good way of doing the deck list videos, or is it bad? Yeah, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace.